North Korea.
Oh, hello.
Okay. Hello.
For some reason the laptop doesn't have the font I used for that, but so I had to switch it. But anyway,
That's a good font.
no, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, as it's officially known, even though it's nothing of the sort. Okay. Right, that is the Korean Peninsula there. You see the bits with the red outlines, that's North Korea. South Korea, see Japan. That's what it looks like underneath. Right, okay. Originally, actually I'll go back to the map a minute. Originally, about 57 BC to 935 AD, there were various little kingdoms on the peninsula, fought amongst themselves. Goryeo, or something like that, being the largest, which became Goryeo over time, and through various changes in language became Korea. So the Japanese and Chinese pronunciations, and it just changed as the language evolved. Invasions by the Mongols in the 13th century, but they were repulsed eventually.
It's quite something.
Yeah. Of course, this is Sejong, or Sejong the Great, who ruled from 1418 to 1450 AD. It's credited with creating the written form of the Korean language, known as Hangul in South Korea and Chosunggul in modern North Korea. And that's what he looks like in Civilization 5. Notice the book there in his hand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is he frozen?
What's the map?
Oh,
See, there it appears on the currency as well. That's what the language looks like. Yeah, it's got an alphabet like English has, but each letter is arranged like that into a syllable. And then the syllables are arranged in a row to make words and sentences, which can be written either up or down or sideways, whichever way it works for the. Yeah, so beginning in 1870. Beginning in 1871, Japan began to force Korea out of China's traditional sphere of influence into its own. That's part of the reason for the Sino-Japanese War 1894-95 led to the short-lived Korean Empire, which is noted as a period of modernisation in the country. And everyone seems to be fighting over the peninsula, Chinese, Russians, Japanese. In 1910, Japan took control of Korea and remained in charge until the end of World War II. It was a brutal occupation. There was much resistance from the Korean people. After Japan's surrender in 1945, Korea was placed in the jurisdiction of the Soviet Union in the north and the USA in the south. So it's kind of like that reflects how the country developed after that, dealing with the personality of the two. The politics of the Cold War resulted in the 1948 establishment of two separate governments, North Korea and South Korea. North and the south there. And in June 1950, North Korea invaded the south using Soviet tanks and weaponry. And during the Korean War, more than 1 million people died, and 3 years of fight throughout the nation effectively destroyed most cities. The war ended in an armistice agreement. So, of course, the invasion was a failure and both countries remained separate. So with China and the Soviets supporting the North, and the USA through the UN supporting the South, Korea was something of a proxy in the Cold War. So like both allowing the sides of the Cold War to fight each other in another country without actually going directly to war with each other. Which was probably why it was so bloody.
Oh, you just kept pulling ammunition in from the south and the north, didn't you?
During the years since then, the two countries have gone very different directions. South is more of a Western democratic country, whereas the North is a totalitarian socialist state. And it's become far more eccentric as the years have gone on. So, North Korean culture. Officially the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. And in practice it's nothing of the sort. The first thing is both halves of the country, both North and South, believe themselves to be rulers of the complete country. So they'll never admit that the other half is a separate country. And they've both got their own sort of like small government office which says like northern affairs or southern affairs.
Hmm.
Basically, it's 2 or 3 people killing time all day doing nothing. Right.
Well, it's here.
Right. That's the flag there. Actually designed in the Soviet Union.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hence the red star there. The red stripe expresses revolutionary traditions. The 2 blue stripes stand for sovereignty, that word, peace and friendship, and the white stripes symbolise purity.
It's not a lot of it. No.
And that is the sort of emblem or sort of coat of arms of North Korea, which is odd because a hydroelectric dam built by the Japanese.
Oh.
Yeah, so the coat of arms was introduced in the form of the 1993, based on a design from 1948 when the country was founded.
It looks old fashioned, doesn't
It shows the Supang hydroelectric plant, which was built by the Japanese. It's not particularly liked by the Koreans. You know, for some reason it was the Soviets who insisted they use this. Yeah. I think it also shows Mount Peke-2, or whatever it's called, at the top there, which is kind of like the mountain of the Kim family, which kind of says this is our country, this is our mountain. So for some reason it legitimises the Kim family being in charge.
Alright.
North Korea functions as a highly centralised single-party republic. According to its constitution, it is a self-described revolutionary and socialist state. The Workers' Party of Korea has an estimated 3 million members and dominates every aspect of North Korean politics. It's got 2 other little parties, the Korean Democratic Party and the Chondoris Chongu Party, both of which are actually owned and run by the main party. So you can vote for any party you want, but they're all run by the same.
Yeah.
You see
Just to
there?
keep the masses quiet.
Interesting.
Yeah, you see the only sort of independents are the few grey ones on the far right there. So basically everybody ignores them.
On the far right. Good
Yes.
spot on there.
There's a bit of pink in
Yeah,
there.
well, actually,
Yeah,
it's
there's
Social Democrats.
Yes. Oh, so it is.
Yeah.
I'm just about to see.
Kim Jong-un, Kim family's current ruler, heads all major government structures, is the first secretary of the party, first chairman of the NDC, supreme commander of the Korean People's Army. Kim Il-sung, his grandfather, who died in 1994, is the country's eternal president, while Kim Jong-il, his father, was announced eternal general secretary after his death in 2011.
After his death.
So basically it's one party state controlled by a ruling family. The people can vote so long as they vote for who's in charge now.
Pick a card. Top
Yeah.
card.
There's also a smaller and more powerful presidium which is made up of members of this assembly. It's a bit like a cabinet, and it's ruled by something like a prime minister, Kim Jong-nam, another one of the Kim family, but we're not quite sure how he's related to the rest. I mean, he kind of works a bit like David Cameron. He's the face of the country in the outside world. He goes to the Olympics and goes to the UN and that kind of thing. Yeah. Right. North Korea is split into 9 provinces, which are split into something like counties. Lots of little counties like that, which are split into towns and neighbourhoods for being controlled. Yeah. Yeah, it's mostly mountainous, and see where Pyongyang, that's the capital there. That's the lower, more marshy, warmer areas. Most of the people are down like in that area. Yeah. Pyongyang means flat land or peaceful land. This is the flat bit, we're building a city here.
Right.
Yeah. So on the Taedong River, there's a population of 3.25 million people. It's quite a bit of the population of the whole country. Yeah. The North Korean national anthem is called Egeku, Egeka, something like that, which means patriotic song. Yeah, for some reason.
They're supposed to play them.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the national anthem there, but I don't know whether it'll actually play, but
Is it keeping us or it's thinking about it?
well, we'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we've seen those.
Yeah, the national tree and flower
Look at
in
that.
Korea is the magnolia,
Yeah.
That was in that
specifically
garden we were in.
Magnolia seboldi, which is that one there. Yeah. The national animal, unusually, is the cholima. It's a mythical creature.
Oh.
It,
It's a
named,
lot of fun.
yeah, the name literally means 1,000-mile horse. It's a mythical winged horse which originates from the Chinese classics and is commonly portrayed in East Asian cultures. The winged horse is said to be too swift and elegant to be mounted by any mortal man. It's also the nickname of the national football team.
Ah.
Yeah. So I've got another statue
Oh, yeah.
of it there. Very sort of
That's being mounted.
yeah,
Oh,
but-
must be a non-mortal.
I'll come back. Yeah. Through the ideals of its first leader, Kim Il-sung, North Korea's drive towards self-sufficiency to the point of isolationism. Internet access is very limited. Only high-ranking officials have full access to the outside
Right,
world.
That's awful,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Jeez.
of course, North
Talk
Korea
about
also,
control.
also uses its own sort of
That's
local
terrible.
operating system called Red Star.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's basically Windows, but it looks like a Mac. You know, basically they've gone across to Europe and America and nicked computers and changed the graphics and said this is our own thing.
We didn't need to do that.
No, but it's just it's a control thing. It's just like and very little in the way of Western culture gets across there. I mean, except for Kim Jong-un, who's a big movie buff. He gets
Oh.
all the movies across, and he's actually kidnapped movie directors
Oh.
to make propaganda films for him.
Is it?
Yeah. And of course, the thing is though, most cinemas in North Korea show only propaganda films, and it seemed as more of a duty than a pleasure to go to the cinema.
God. Oh, awful.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah,
That's
so-
terrible.
It's got its own time zone as well, Pyongyang time, which is sort of like, it's good because it's halfway between the hour division. It's gone half an hour out from either side. Just to distance itself from Japan and these Japanese overlords they used to have. And all the clocks are half an hour out everywhere else.
Well, I think you do.
Does it have an international airport?
I don't know. This is Kim Il-sung, the first supreme ruler, and still officially the supreme ruler forever
Yeah.
and ever and ever.
Even though he's dead and gone.
Yes, ruled for 46 years, from establishment in 48 until his death in 94. Yeah. 'Cause he was originally a sort of revolutionary leader who fought the Japanese in the underground movement and was put into place by the Soviets when they took over. Because when they left, he remained in charge to make himself this beloved leader. Established the way the country was run and promoted an emphasis on self-reliance and patriotism as part of his philosophy of duchy, or something called, that sounds like that. Yeah, his own form of socialism, picking from communism and other things he happened to like. Yeah. And the big thing was the cult of personality, where the leader was worshipped sort of like a celebrity, but also a god. So that he was the father, he was daddy, you did it for your daddy. He was like, everybody loved him, because they got shot if they didn't. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Oh. Yeah. Place again. This is Kim Jong-il, who was the second leader.
And
His
he
son,
did do.
yes,
And
took over in '94. He was made heir apparent in the '80s, and by the time his dad died, he was basically running the country. And of course, that's how he managed to do it without being questioned, because he was already there all the time. So, yeah, although he was more of a dictator than his father, he was known as the dear leader. to distinguish him from his father, the great leader. Yeah.
Was he the guy in charge during the war? That would be the right time. Korean War, North South.
No, this guy took over in '94.
Oh, a lot later.
Yeah. Yeah. It was reported that Kim Jong-il had died of a suspected heart attack in December 2011 while travelling by train to outside Pyongyang. It was reported, however, in December 2012 that he had died in a fit of rage over construction faults at a crucial power plant. Yeah. Of course, after he died, that's the idealised portrait of that guy in the last picture.
Yeah.
Earlier on.
Oh dear.
Of course, this idiot took over when his dad died.
Oh.
Kim Jong-un is actually the second son. His father's the second son. Yeah. It's great.
Look at that haircut. That's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, it was
isn't
great
it?
stuff. Basically very little time to get him into position for this, because the older brother had been planned to be ruler, but he was after a botched attempt in 2001 to visit Tokyo Disneyland on a fake passport. Basically, he was caught sneaking out of the country to go to Disneyland, and he was dismissed by his father, and a bit of a family embarrassment. Now he lives somewhere outside in China now.
Oh, hello. What are we
Yeah.
getting there?
I thought I had a picture of him, but
Never mind.
Never mind.
Doesn't matter.
yeah, he basically just looks like a fat Chinese taxi driver with a fat cap on, a hairy beard.
Yeah. Oh.
Quite a cheery chap, I think. Yeah, so this guy, Kim Jong-un, took full control after his father's death. Although there was a lot of people who thought he was too inexperienced.
Yes.
So he basically started by purging the government of everybody who disagreed with him. And basically starting with all his old teachers and his uncle, who was high up in the government. Lots of people, just high-ranking officials, either died or just disappeared. In March 2013, North Korea threatened the United States with preemptive nuclear attack. Kim Jong-un issued a detailed threat to wipe out Beiyang Island, the scene of previous naval clashes. Yes, because it's revealed its plans to construct nuclear strikes on the US cities, including Los Angeles and Washington.
Ooh.
The chances are I could never actually reach them. Yeah, the actual facts about this chap seem really particularly hard to come by, because there's so much propaganda and so little really leaks out. Although apparently he's got sort of health problems, possibly hypertension, diabetes and gout.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's rumours that he's had a child, but nobody's not quite sure who the mother is, or whether it's a boy or a girl or anything. Yeah, some weird facts about him. Kim Jong-un travels with his own personal toilet on all his vehicles. Cars, trains, ATVs, everything.
Potty.
He's got his own car with a toilet in it.
Alright. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, using this toilet is apparently punishable by death. Although, according to the propaganda, he doesn't actually poo or wee ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Dear.
Yeah, because there's a satirical website called The Onion, that does a bit like Private Eye but online.
Right.
And a few years ago they declared him sexiest man of the year. The thing is, that was picked up by a lot of Chinese media outlets, and they thought they were being serious. It was reported as real news.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, he grew up as a huge fan of basketball, especially the NBA and Michael Jordan. Schoolyard friends growing up remembered that he spent hours doing meticulous pencil drawings of Michael Jordan.
Not playing basketball.
Children in North Korea are reported to be taught that Kim Jong-un learned to drive at the age of 3. He had a new school subject just based around his life and revolutionary works. Yeah, because now come to, of course, they don't want derision from this country.
That's South Park, isn't it? Oh, big. That's from Big, isn't it?
Up.
Or
Up,
by-
up, not Big. Up.
And of course you've had things like Team America and The Interview, which have taken the piss out of.
Oh dear.
And of course we was going to have a little clip from the thing here, but seeing as the videos don't want to play and I can't find the speakers,
Yeah.
I was going to have the little song of Kim Jong-un singing I'm So Lonely.
So what?
Lonely.
That was very good, very
Oh, no.
educational.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wikipedia.
Who's going next then?